He was born into a world of whispers, shadows, and ambition. Julius Caesar, a man who would change the course of history, began his life far from the grand stages of power he would one day command. Imagine Rome, more than 2,000 years ago. Streets crowded with merchants, soldiers, and politicians, each chasing wealth, influence, and survival. Into this world came a young boy whose name would one day strike fear, admiration, and envy across the ancient world. Caesar's family was noble, but not rich. His early years were shaped by careful observation. He watched the powerful, learned from the cunning, and dreamed far beyond his modest beginnings. Even as a child, there was a spark in him, a hunger that refused to be ignored. In the heart of Rome, every alliance mattered. Every friendship could be a stepping stone or a trap. Caesar understood this early. He was not just clever. He was aware, alert to every glance, every whisper, every shadow. As he grew, so did his ambition. He learned the art of persuasion, speaking with a charm that could win over allies and disarm opponents. He practiced debate, mastering the subtle power of words. In Rome, speech was more than communication, it was power. And Caesar, even as a young man, could command a room, drawing people into his orbit with ideas, promises, and dreams of glory. But power in Rome was never given. It was taken, and it was often lost just as quickly. Caesar faced rivals older and more experienced, men who had wealth, armies, and connections. But he had something even they could not match: vision. He saw Rome not just as it was, but as it could be. And he was willing to do what others feared: take risks, challenge tradition, and pursue destiny with relentless focus. He began his political career with small victories, each carefully calculated. A few speeches, a few alliances, a few key marriages, all steps in a game that would span decades. Every decision mattered. Every public appearance, every act of generosity, every gesture of loyalty was weighed in the court of Roman opinion. Caesar learned to move like a shadow, unnoticed but influential, bending events subtly in his favor. Even in these early years, danger lurked. Political rivals watched, ready to strike at the first sign of weakness. The streets of Rome were filled with spies, informants, and enemies masked as friends. But Caesar thrived under pressure. He turned threats into opportunities, using challenges to showcase his skill and courage. The more the world tried to contain him, the more he grew. One of his earliest and most daring moves came during a time of civil unrest. Rome was fractured, divided by competing factions and endless power struggles. Chaos surrounded the young Caesar, but instead of retreating, he acted decisively. He navigated treacherous political waters, building alliances with those who could support his rise while quietly outmaneuvering his rivals. Each victory, small or large, added to his growing reputation. Caesar's brilliance was not only in politics. He was a soldier at heart. He understood that real power in Rome came with command of armies. He trained, fought, and led with courage, earning the loyalty of soldiers who would follow him anywhere. Every battlefield was a classroom, teaching him strategy, leadership, and the harsh realities of power. He learned that Rome respected strength, not just words. Even his personal life reflected his ambition. Every marriage, every relationship, every connection he formed was part of a larger plan. Alliances were built not just on affection, but on mutual benefit, ensuring that as he rose, his network of influence expanded. Caesar was careful, deliberate, and always calculating, but he also knew when to inspire loyalty and when to charm with charisma. As the years passed, his rise became unstoppable. The once modest boy from a noble but struggling family was now a man commanding attention, respect, and fear. Senators whispered his name in awe and alarm. Citizens debated his speeches in the marketplaces. Soldiers prepared to follow him to the ends of the earth. Caesar had mastered the art of influence, combining intellect, courage, and strategy in a way few had ever seen. Yet, even at this stage, danger was never far. Every ally could be a potential traitor. Every victory could provoke envy. Caesar understood this better than anyone. His rise was not just about power, it was about survival. And survival in Rome required vision, courage, and an unshakable will. By the end of these formative years, Caesar had become more than a politician, more than a soldier. He had become a force of nature. His rise was a story of talent meeting opportunity, of courage confronting danger, and of ambition fueled by vision. He was ready for the challenges ahead, ready to face rivals, ready to seize control of a Rome that was as complex and dangerous as it was magnificent. And yet, for all his brilliance, there remained a threat he could not yet see, a betrayal that would one day change everything. But in these early years, Julius Caesar was untouchable, unstoppable, and unforgettable. The foundation was laid, the pieces were moving, and the stage was set for a story that would echo through history. He had become the man the world could not ignore, and Rome, for all its intrigue and treachery, would soon learn the true force of Julius Caesar. Every step he took, every decision he made, was bringing him closer to destiny. And as the city buzzed with whispers of ambition, power, and danger, Caesar's rise was only beginning. An unstoppable march toward glory and the shadow of betrayal yet to come. The greatest danger is not the enemy you see. It is the friend you trust the most. Julius Caesar learned this too late. By the time Caesar reached the height of his power, Rome no longer felt like a republic. It felt like a stage built around one man. His victories had reshaped the Roman world. His name was spoken with pride by the people and with fear by the elite. Every triumph he celebrated made him stronger, and every step forward pushed others closer to panic. Caesar returned to Rome as a hero. His military success brought him fame beyond any living Roman. Crowds gathered just to see him pass. Soldiers were loyal to him, not the Senate. This loyalty was powerful, but it was also dangerous. In Rome, power was meant to be shared, balanced, and controlled. Caesar broke that balance without lifting a sword inside the city. The Senate watched closely. Many senators had supported Caesar in his rise. They benefited from his victories and protection. But now they began to feel small beside him. They feared that Rome was no longer ruled by laws, but by one man's will. Each honor given to Caesar increased this fear. Each statue, each title, each public praise felt like a warning. Caesar did not see himself as a tyrant. In his mind, he was saving Rome. He believed the old system was broken. Corruption was everywhere. Weak leaders had failed the people. Caesar thought strong leadership was the cure. He moved quickly, making decisions without long debate. To him, speed meant stability. To others, it meant the end of freedom. Some senators tried to oppose him openly. They failed. Caesar was too popular. The people loved him because he gave them food, land, and pride. He spoke to them directly. He understood their pain. This made him untouchable in public. So his enemies changed their approach. They stopped fighting him in the open. They began to whisper. The plot did not form overnight. It grew slowly, quietly, in private rooms and dark corners. Men who once praised Caesar now questioned him behind closed doors. They shared fears, then doubts, then plans. Each meeting strengthened their resolve. They convinced themselves they were not traitors, but saviors of the Republic. At the center of this storm stood one man Caesar trusted deeply, a man he respected, a man he believed would never turn against him. This trust was built over years. Shared battles, shared risks, shared victories. Caesar believed loyalty was earned through honor. He did not understand how fear could undo it all. Warnings reached Caesar. Friends told him to be careful. Rumors of danger spread through Rome. Even strangers sensed something was wrong. But Caesar dismissed these signs. He believed his mercy had secured loyalty. He believed forgiveness created peace. He believed no Roman would dare raise a blade against him in public. This belief was his greatest mistake. As the day approached, tension filled the city. The Senate was called to meet. Some urged Caesar not to go. His wife begged him to stay home. She spoke of dreams filled with blood and loss. Caesar hesitated for a moment, but pride and duty pushed him forward. He did not want to appear weak. He did not want fear to control him. The conspirators gathered early. Their hands shook, but their minds were set. Each man carried a hidden blade. Each man told himself the same lie. This is for Rome. This is justice. This is necessary. Among them stood the man Caesar trusted most, calm and silent, hiding his fear behind a familiar face. Caesar entered the Senate house without guards. This was his final act of confidence. He believed respect protected him more than steel. The room was quiet, too quiet. Senators rose as he arrived. Some avoided his eyes. Others forced smiles. Caesar took his place, unaware that history was about to change. The signal was given. At first, Caesar did not understand what was happening. A sudden movement, a sharp pain, confusion filled his mind. He turned, searching for answers, expecting help. Instead, he saw betrayal on every side. Faces he knew, voices he trusted, arms raised against him. Then he saw him, the one man he never suspected. In that moment, something inside Caesar broke. It was not fear. It was realization. Power could conquer armies, but it could not control hearts. Loyalty given out of fear does not last. Respect forced through strength fades. Caesar understood this truth as blades struck again and again. He did not fight back. Some say he covered his face. Others say he spoke no words at all. What mattered was not how he died, but why. He fell not because he was weak, but because he trusted too deeply in a world ruled by ambition. The Senate floor was stained with blood. The conspirators stood frozen, unsure of what they had truly achieved. They expected praise. They expected cheers. Instead, Rome reacted with shock and anger. The people did not celebrate. They mourned. Caesar's death did not save the Republic. It shattered it. Chaos followed quickly. Power did not return to the Senate. It moved into new hands. Civil war tore Rome apart. Caesar's name became a symbol, stronger in death than in life. The men who betrayed him were hunted, defeated, and forgotten. The republic they claimed to defend died with them. Caesar never saw the betrayal coming because he believed greatness inspired loyalty. He believed shared success created trust. But Rome taught a harsher lesson. In a world driven by power, fear grows faster than respect. Envy moves faster than honor. Julius Caesar changed Rome forever. His rise showed what one man could achieve. His fall showed the cost of trust in a broken system. He did not fail as a leader. He failed as a judge of men. And that is why the closest betrayer was the one he never feared at all. If this story made you see Julius Caesar in a new way, subscribe to the channel to explore more hidden truths of history. Like this video if it held your attention, and press the bell icon so you never miss the next story where power, trust, and betrayal collide.